Is it any different now? You can hear me speaking and the guitar. Okay. So we're going to blame Golden Age Project for that. Okay. Now you hear me. Everyone hears me now. Yeah, that's fine. Just join through the chat. And then, okay. So, who's special? All right. So, welcome to the test stream for the Mesa Boogie 3 channel 100-watt dual rectifier. Just going to try and keep that microphone up. So, this is the 3-channel 100-watt version. So it's not the multi-watt version. So this is the version before it. I'm sure I'll have to reiterate myself. And yeah, so Kevin will end up joining us. So he'll more than likely just be the one in the chat as Tricro Studios. And yeah, we'll kind of go from there. So right now I am boosted. So right now I am boosted. I'm using an Ibanez TS9 and so on here. I have to also, this is so unorganized. Again, this is a test because we want to do these kind of starting September. And there's just a few things that we have to figure out. So hopefully Kevin will, in the chat, just start saying things like, I'm here, I can hear you. Because, yeah, messaging me on Facebook Messenger doesn't really work the best. This is excellent. Okay. This dual rectifier right here is 3 channels. So you've got the way that it's set up is like that one right there is channel 3, and that's the high gain channel. That one right there is kind of like the rock channel, a little bit of gain. And then the furthest one over is channel 1, which is the clean. So for some reason, I think, I have, 6 different Mesa heads. So right now, I don't know if I grabbed the wrong channel because the foot switch is not working. So when I go to change that, I'll just reach around to the back of the amp. So, I am boosted. I am one of those guys that it works both ways for me. You can boost it. You don't have to boost it. it's not the rectifier. The amount of rectifier is actually not the amount of channels. So no, I don't have the Mark 7 yet. It'll be a while for that. There we go. So the way that it works is single rectifier is 50 watts. The dual rectifier is 100 watts. And then from there, 150 watts is actually the triple rectifier. However, there's different versions of the dual rectifier. There's like the Road King, which is also 150 watts. But yeah. Okay, so again, I am boosted. I use an Ibanez TS9. I think that it works either way, but it just takes a little while to dial things in. And Kevin himself is one person that just does not believe whatsoever in boosting a dual rectifier. So I'm going to grab some of his settings. He'll probably have to put them in the chat. And we'll kind of go from there. That is fact, or this is fact. Okay. So the dual rectifier, we'll go through that just really quickly here. I'll turn the boost off. I also have a smart gate engaged, so I have noise gate going on. So this is what it's like unboosted. And let's throw that boost down so you can kind of hear. Right now I'm in drop C sharp. Yeah, the boost sounds nicer. The dual rectifier is set up very different than most amps. So like your bass control affects like your EQ as you do all the different things. They affect one another. So the low end control, because it's such a low end amp, there's a lot of low end to it. So you generally actually keep that like 3 o'clock sometimes or so. Otherwise, there's just too much low end. So, yeah. Is Mr. Eric D869 Mr. Eric? Okay, so we're not boosted anymore. So what you would typically want to do here would be to take the bass out. That's at like 3 o'clock now. So it's not so tubby. And put the gain around noon. But at that point, you're going to start to hear some of the buzzing B or can of Bs that you're going to hear. So a lot of that top end fizzle, it's a lot more on a dual rectifier than other amps. So yeah, so when it's unboosted, you know what? I'll actually go right into Kevin's settings here, because I've always been curious, as he's just does not like to have it at all. Wow, gain set at 2 o'clock. Yeah, your master. Gain it 2. Okay. Now, Kevin, were these sounds the ones before the hearing aids, or? So for me, I'd be pretty mad if I were a bass player, because that's a ton of low end, and he doesn't use a boost whatsoever. Now, so Kevin has not used this, I guess, since he got hearing aids, so that might change some things. So, let's see if I can kind of clean that up to where I would have it. So I think Kevin, your settings, maybe you want to try that with your hearing aids in, and maybe get that a little changed, because it always seemed like you had that little bit of mid woof, I guess you would say. So like that, the low mids were in there quite a bit. I want to try it boosted yet again, just so you can kind of hear a little bit of the difference. In the future, we are looking to, like, I just did a major overhaul of my studio setup. I actually got rid of my 10-year-old iMac, so until I get like a Mac Studio, which is probably like October or November, I'll just be running everything off of my new MacBook Pro here. So maybe the next stream I should have drums going, so you know, you can hear it with the drums, without the drums, and be a little more nicer, because you can kind of hear how it sits in a somewhat bit of a mix. But unboosted, let's go back to boosted. We can add in a little more low end now, which I think it just really smooths things out when you're using a boost, because you are running it through the tone control as well of the boost. So it kind of smooths that low end and allows you to dial in a little more without it being flubby. So let's see if we can get a little bit of a scooped sound going on right now. What are my favorite settings, Kevin? Again, I change my settings all the time. That's you should know better. But let's see if we can get a scooped sound going on. So the mids, I've dialed those back to about 10:30 or 11. Definitely missing out on the mids there, so I'll dial a little more in. And the high end I'll put around at 3 o'clock. That is definitely a lot more high end than you would want, but little bit more mid back in. So I think what we might want to do here is might swap out guitars, but let's see if we can grab a quick poll going on here. Let's move this. So what tones would you like to hear? Metal, let's see, hard rock, which, yeah, I can say that there is a distinguishing way to kind of separate them. Clean, or what else would there be? Lower gain. So we'll put that out there if anyone wants to pop in and throw up some information. This is actually a 500 T in this guitar here. So very hot pickup. This guitar actually, it's, cut my mic off, of course. This guitar here is the Gibson Les Paul Custom Showcase Edition. So it's a 1988, and believe it or not, it actually came with EMG 81 and 85 pickups from the factory. And I still have those. They're the hardwired ones, so they're not like the like quick clip-on or whatever you want to call them, or quick connect. And then when I got this guitar from someone, it had the Pearly Gates pickup in it and a Lawler or Lolar, I can't remember how you say that, Imperial, I think, in there. And I switched things out for a 500T and 496R, I believe. So yeah, let's just yeah, definitely going to be seeing a lot of metal votes. Play metal. I will. I will. Just not sure if I want to grab a different guitar. Alright, so I think I will switch guitars. just because switching guitars will allow me to choose different pickups. So I'll grab my standard 50s, because that has, I should be looking that up, but it has the burst buckers in it. So a little less output, and I've always find that it gives you a little more control. Do you have any experience with the Duncan Custom SH5? No. I went through a phase of, I like to call it the buying Jackson guitars phase, and basically I would just buy them because people would be trying to sell them for dirt cheap, like especially the Japanese ones, and I would just buy them so I could try out different pickups and stuff like that. So, but no, I haven't had any experience with the Duncan Custom. Okay. So I haven't used this guitar since yesterday, and it's got a little cold. So I will want to retune really quick. Okay, well, not too much. Okay, again, this guitar here has a little less output to it, so the pickups have less output to it. Again, I find a little more control going on. So let's see here. I'll grab a few of these in the chats. Would love to see you live stream the JSX. I've heard, I have a hard time dialing tones in with it. I like that amp. It's definitely on the list. I think I have like 37 amps. They're all on the list. So I'll definitely be one of the amps that I do get to, and Kevin also has that amp, and he loves that one to death. How do we like your NDH 20s, the Neumann headphones? They're fantastic. I had a pair of Focals, the Spirit Professional, and Kevin broke those by accident, and he ended up buying them from me, I think. So he has them now, and he ended up getting them fixed. It was just a little clip thing that he went through. But I love these headphones; they're fantastic. And I also have the SPL Phonitor 1. That's what's actually driving them, and those are great that is great as well. Yes, different guitar. Yeah, if you know any, like, if you're a subscriber to this channel and there's guitars that I own that you like, just throw it out and I can go and grab it. And Mesa tubes, yes, these are stock tubes. Actually, one of them, I broke one of them when I first got it, when I took the little cage part off of it, so it's still Mesa tubes, but I bought one or two to replace. Anyway, back to a little bit of metal. I'm going to give some of the other options for channel 3 a go. Let's see here. Is that a V58? No, it's just a Les Paul standard 50s. So, I mean, it is patterned after the 58 because the 60s is patterned after the 59, technically. So it's got the baseball bat neck on it. So it's a standard 50s. It's the AAA top limited version, so the top looks a little nicer than the regular ones that you get. Just got my JSX yesterday, and you're to blame. You're welcome. I don't have to read the rest. You're welcome. But I love it. There you go. You use the EL34s or the 6L6 in yours. I believe mine are the 6L6 because I haven't changed anything, and I have a lot of amps, so sometimes it's hard to really recall. And boost pedal, yes, right now I'm using a boost pedal. Let's see, do you ever swap your pickups out to get more metal tone? No, I don't. Okay, Kevin has the EL34s. Actually, you know what? That's probably what's in mine. I have no idea off the top of my head right now. Do you ever swap the pickouts to get a more metal tone? I used to. Again, I went through that like buying Jackson phase, so I could just buy guitars so I could buy more pickups. But I actually just find that the Gibson pickups are just really well rounded, and it's a great selection too. So if you want your hot pickups, you definitely have those choices. And if you want your pickups that don't have as much output to give you a little more control over the sound, they have those as well. The only guitar other than the custom that I own, because I swapped that out to 500T and I think 496R, would be the what is that one called? The Flying V Melody Maker. That one has Duncan designed. It's like HB 102 or 103 in it, and I bought a Classic 57 Plus to pop in it. So, how long do the tubes last in your amps? Generally speaking, I have it's like 37 amp heads, and I'm constantly swapping out what head I'm using. So a long time. Right now, I have 2 amps down. One is because of tubes, I believe. Actually, yeah, my Fender Bassman, my 69 Bassman, that needs new tubes. But I'm going to have someone actually check that out. And I think my Trainer Custom Special, I think that was just operating on 2 tubes. But something's going on with that, so I got to throw that in. Okay. Kevin, my amps are always 9 out of 10, and I've only changed the tubes and amps depending on certain amps. Some amps you need to swap out regularly, and some almost never. I like the ones that are almost never. It's great. Because I just hate doing that. Because I'm not one to, like, I don't self-bias or whatever. And it's just not my deal. Anyway, I'm going to get back to some metal. So this one here, the dual rectifier, I said I'm going to get back to some metal and I start talking right away. But the dual rectifier is one of those amps, too, where I find a little weird, where the settings just... I have to change them all the time, otherwise I kind of get bored. So right now it feels like there's a little too much high end and not enough gain, even though the gain's sitting at like almost noon. Like that would record really well. So, Ryan, how do you handle the low end that everyone loves but so many people hate? I knew you were going to ask that question. Usually with a boost, or I keep my low end sitting around like 9 o'clock. Sitting it around 9 o'clock and just raising your volume and keeping a handle on your gain. That's really the best way, I would say. So yeah, this sound here would record really well. So if you're doubling it with this amp, would sound pretty good. But just on its own, just seems like it's lacking a little bit of energy. So kick that gain up to noon. Try to get another scoop sound going. The great thing when you're looking for that scoop setting, which you're scooping the the mids, you're usually popping in a little more high end. But usually because you're taking some of the mids out, you can start increasing the volume a little. And that'll start filling in some space. Mesa's EQ knobs are always so sensitive. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely one of those amps that will sound good one day, then buzzy the next. Yes, the can of buzzing bees kind of comes and goes as it pleases. I do find that the Mark V is a little more sensitive than the dual rectifier. Again, haven't tried out the Mark VII. I haven't even seen one of those in person. But the Mark V, those knobs on there are way too tight as well. So I find it to be a pain in the ass making adjustments to it, especially when you're trying to adjust like the volume for the channel. But yeah, for sure, it's on the dual rectifier. They're very sensitive. Let's swap things out a little here. Pop it into the ever so never used for me, the vintage channel. I just turned the boost off. These knobs interact with the orange channel, just like on my Rev G. Okay, so you're going to be looking at like a 2-channel. Ryan is colorblind. Orange, what is orange? Orange is a brand of amps. So let's see here. Channel 2 is orange. I guess mine only has 2 channels. So would that be similar to like the whole thing with the XXX, the PV XXX, where there's sort of like a presence control that affects the opposite channel? Is that what you mean? let's pop it on channel 2, and we'll just find out if that's the case. Okay, so I'm Ryan doesn't use foot switches. I'm actually, because I was in such a rush because I was downloading 1,000,001 things onto this MacBook Pro here. I actually, the foot switches work, and I'm just stupid. So we're on channel 2 now. Okay. So let's I'll mute the mic here in a sec, but we'll mess around with some of the controls on channel 3 to see if perhaps there's some sort of function that affects the other. But I don't think so. That usually does happen on like 2-channel amps, but usually, what's the word for it? It's the way that they're stacked. I mean, that could be the case here, but let's just find out. So no, they don't. But we're now on channel 2. This channel here I always felt had a little too much low end to it. Throw that boost down and see what we can get. Special message from Kevin telling me how long it's been. Okay. It must only be on the 2-channel dual rectifiers. Yeah, that would definitely be the case. Haven't checked on my XXX yet. So one thing that PV did with the XXX, and it's one of those things that, like, if you know this, and people don't know this, you're a friggin' genius. But I think it was actually in the manual for the XXX. But your volume control on the opposite channel from, like, the Crunch and the Ultra actually works as a presence control for the opposite channel. So I recommend the Crunch channel over the Ultra channel. It took me a little while to learn that, but yeah, if you're using the Crunch channel and you find that you need a little more top end going on, or a little more shift in the balance towards the higher end, just increase the volume on the Ultra channel, and that will act as a presence. So, pretty cool. Yes, the XXX is an excellent amplifier. Thanks for checking out our videos. Can you do a JSX versus JCM 800 someday? Love your comparison vids. I think I can't remember if I did that one. I don't think I did. It's definitely on the list. I usually do those like in the winter time because I have a lot more downtime than I do now. Yeah, I know because I get my thumbnails made for me because I don't have time for that stuff. So I think I actually have a thumbnail that's the JSX against the JCM 800. Yeah. So I think that's actually a pretty decent sound for channel 2. Again, we're back with the boost on the Ibanez TS9, the boost setting. I think that would record well. It sounds decent on its own, but I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I'll switch out guitars. I don't know what people are thinking here. So let's do the whole thing here, and we'll create a poll, because it's just easier. So what guitar would you like to see next? So we'll go another Les Paul. Explorer. Flying V. or an SG. You know what? We'll do what Kevin wants. Single coil. Boom. And usually for, like if I want to stay in like a gainy type of a sound, I would be grabbing my American Deluxe Stratocaster, because that just does really well with high gain. Otherwise, you know, just take the tone control down to like 5 or 6. Oh, the one above my head? Yes, I can grab that a little later. I'll probably go, I'll go through the different channels, and then we might do a Q&A actually at the end, if people are interested in that. But I'll probably grab that 3ch once we hit channel 1. And that particular 3ch is the Brian Setzer Hot Rod. Take a look at this pole here. People are digging the Explorer. Wow, I figured it would be between the Explorer and the Flying V. See if I can get another sound going on channel 2 really quick. So I've got the gain right now sitting at around noon. I'll probably dial that back a little just to get a little more clarity going. Yeah, let's switch out guitars. I will grab the Natural Explorer. That's got the burst buckers in it as well. That's the 2 and the 3. think I used this yesterday as well, but again, cold air. Always check if you've turned the volume down on the guitar before going crazy thinking something else is wrong. Which Explorer do I prefer? That's kind of a day of the week kind of a question, I think. I think a lot of the times, because it has the burst buckers in it, I do prefer this one over the two that I own. But sometimes, like the Black Explorer there, the Ebony, whatever you want to call it, it has the 500T in it as well. So it's either want, something with a lot of output, like a hotter pickup, or I want something that's a little, less, so I can get a little more control. Switch things up a little. You know what? I'll put it back on to channel 3, and let's hear kind of. Oh yeah, I don't have a setting because I was messing around with things. Hold on. So I'm gonna get something going for channel 3 really quickly here, and we'll kind of A/B channel 3 to channel 2. Alright, so that's something somewhat decent. So let's switch from channel 2 to channel 3. So we'll go to channel 2 now. I think that was a new Metallica song. I think. What are everyone's thoughts on that new album? Well, it's pretty decent. Jason, that's what. Yeah. That's actually pretty good. I hated that album for like the first 2 listens that I had of it, and then I listened to it in the car, and then I listened to it like during a workout, and I can't stop listening to it now. It's fantastic. It just seemed like I don't know, it was weird. The arrangements were weird, and I kept thinking, like, they're trying to make the songs longer for no reason. But, no, I love it now. I think it's fantastic. I love that song on Crown of Barbed Wire. I did not like Crown of Barbed Wire for a while, but now I have a lot of fun. Like if I'm driving to work in the truck and that song pops on, I'm pretty happy. What's the one, You Must Burn? That when I first heard that the first few times, I was like, oh my god, they think they rewrote Sad But True. And I don't know, I like it now, but it took me a while. What's this here? Yeah, I would say that for sure. That was loud when I said yeah. I would say that for sure. It's what's the name? Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I liked the first side of that album, and then like the second side of it, I would usually skip except for Spit Out the Bone. Now I can kind of listen to it now, no problems, and I like it. But I kind of feel like with new Metallica, it takes a while. I've been a diehard Metallica fan since '91. Yeah, probably around there. I think I definitely, next stream that I do, I will incorporate some drum tracks, because I find there's a little lack of energy without that kind of a thing. And I find that it's easier to dig in with tones if you're trying to match something else. But alas, I basically almost installed everything, and it was the first time I ever opened Luna as opposed to it's called Logic Pro, so that's something I gotta kind of figure out here as well. So I'm going to get into a little bit of clean here, but I'll try to find a balance of clean and a little bit of breakup. Then we'll probably hop back into channel 3, because again, I do have the foot switch working because I was just an idiot and in a rush earlier. And yeah, I kind of want to do a little bit of a Q&A just because I know there's usually people who have different questions. And I might do, let's see here. Let's do a quick poll. Because I'll grab a Telecaster and then we'll switch out guitars there. Or no, I'll grab that Gretsch. Alright, so let's see. Stratocaster, Telecaster, ES335, or another Les Paul. There we go. So yeah, I'll grab, or you know what, I'll pop this on the neck pickup. Turn the boost off and turn the noise gate off. Let's see here. What do I think of all the talk of guitar YouTubers selling their tube amps and going to modelers? I just got a new triple rectifier and couldn't be happier. I've never been a fan of modelers. Again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Whenever it comes to modelers, a lot of people's argument to me is, well, you know, Metallica uses modelers now. They use the Axe effects when they're playing live, and their latest album, that is definitely an Axe effects. And I can definitely hear the difference. I don't think I'm a tone snob, but I can hear the difference. Like when I saw them in Edmonton last, they were definitely using the Axe effects, and it was an amazing concert. And it doesn't stop people from enjoying the concert because it's still a fantastic show. But especially when I listen to the video that they released with it, it's really weird. It's because there's like the low end's not the same and the high end isn't shrill. It just sounds electric. Like there's this weird almost hiss in the high mids. it's just not something that I'm interested in. I guess because I'm older, I like that tactile feel of, and like, grabbing an amp and popping it up on my desk and kind of really experiencing the amp rather than, going like, oh, well, this is the setting here for this amp or what someone thinks it is. And yeah, live, they just sound flat. Yes, absolutely. I really wish, it's more convenient as well to use those modelers, especially live. And you're there for the show. You're not there to see that they're using real tube amps and stuff like that. I don't know, just for me personally, like I'm, Kevin and I are on YouTube. I guess we are YouTubers, but like we're not really popular ones, so we don't really have a lot of, I don't know, we just don't have a lot of experience with them as well. And it's just not in I just don't have any interest in it. So we are on channel 1. And I will pop it on clean. One of the best clean tones I've ever gotten with any amp was actually this dual rectifier here. And a Paul Reed Smith McCarty soap bar, so the P90s. That, a lot of people, I don't know why, but sometimes the dual rectifier gets flack for its clean channel, but I love it. I think it's great. So I'll definitely have to grab a Strat at some point. But like, that sounds great. Maybe a little too much low end going, but of course, popping it into the bridge position. I've always found that Gibson, the bridge pickups don't always sound the greatest in clean, but I guess it's all how you EQ things. Let's see. Got on the digital stuff when, line 6 Vita came out, then sold it for a Marshall Jimi Hendrix stack. Nothing beats a real amp on full blast. Yeah, absolutely. I had a line 6 Spider 2 and a Spider 3 head, and then because Kevin had one, he had the Pod XT Live, and I used that for a while just because like I was in an apartment and it was just convenient. But the moment I got into something where I didn't really care about neighbors and there wasn't really like a whole like you're gonna get kicked out or the police called on you, then I jumped right into tube amps. So biggest mistake you ever made. I think that sounds awesome. Okay, I'm going to grab that Gretsch, and we'll do some clean and go back on, I can't remember what the setting is on there, whether it's not blackface. What is it, tweed? But we'll go through the two different settings on the clean. it's pushed. I don't know why, but whenever I grab a Gretsch, it takes me a while to find the output jack. But let's tune this. Now you use the 2 notes torpedo for recording just to not bother my neighbors. Yeah, I got my cabinets are in a treated room, and I have like 2 moving blankets up in the window, and just doesn't. There's not a ton of distance from our house to our neighbor's house, but you know, I think it's fine. They might think I'm the goof with the whole bunch of guitars, but you know what? The guy who owned this house before me had guitars up on the wall, so it's all right. You have a Crate 120 CXL solid state that will go toe-to-toe with any Marshall. I'm sorry, I'm just enjoying this guitar here without going through the amp. So here we go. Pickup. That's one weird thing I found about this guitar yesterday on the stream. I don't know what's going on here. I'm using an API 512C with this microphone. It's just buzzy. Anyway, that's one thing I found with this yesterday on the stream is that like this is a Brian Setzer hot rod. So basically what that is it goes from the input to the volume to the pickups. You know what I mean? Like, so there's less wiring, so everything's good. But the previous owner definitely put some like hot rod flames. He spent like $1,500 or something like that at a hot rod shop, putting hot rod flames and everything on here, and changed a whole bunch of things out. But he put one of those like dual potentiometer controls. So I actually have the volume control, and there's a little ring underneath it that does the tone control. But the potentiometers, listen to this. That sounds all the same. But yeah, it doesn't work until it's at like 4. Can you do some Malcolm Young stuff on the Gretsch? I can, sure. Let's see what we're doing here. I just to be absolutely 100% clear, I'm literally gonna play like some A's, some G's, and some D's. I've never been I like the drumming a lot on AC/DC stuff, but I don't know. I never got into them guitar-wise. Also pop this on the pushed setting. Let's put this in channel 2 and dial the gain way back. Throw a boost down there. He didn't use much distortion, he just played loud, which I think he used Marshalls, right? So that would actually dive bomb. I think we're gonna swap out because she's out of tune a little. Let's see where we're sitting. Another Les Paul is what we're looking for. So I'll grab a Les Paul, and then I'll probably grab a Strat after that. Actually, you know what? I'll grab a Strat, and then I'll grab another Les Paul. Yes, Kevin, I will grab the Deluxe. Yeah, I do have a P90 Les Paul. I have a Les Paul Classic. Ooh, that's way out of tune. I have a Les Paul Classic with P90s in it, but I also have that Les Paul Deluxe, which I think Kevin really wants to hear. So. I've already grabbed this one. I'm not grabbing the natural one. I've actually come to this conclusion that Strats sound better in E flat, like everyone should know, but Telecasters, D standard. D standard. I actually have a Telecaster thin line, one of the American originals there before they swapped to the whatever they're called now. And that, if I put that in C sharp standard, forget about it. It's awesome. Schecter's and I don't get along. I tried really hard. But I can't do it. Like, I had the Schecter 7-string, I think, for like a year. And I tried, and it just, I don't know. Just for me, I can't do it. I really tried. And I tried, what is it called? The Sun Valleys and everything. For a second, I forgot I don't like having my tremolo arm in Strats. Okay. Ooh. You know we got single coil going here. So we're still in that pushed setting. I think I still have that boost on. Understand if the push setting is supposed to simulate some of the older Marshalls where it had that little bit of a high-end, not noise to it, but high-end focus or a little high-end distortion. Put it back on the clean setting. one, because I know Les Pauls are kind of on the docket, I guess you would say, next. But I will put it on a high gain tone. I'd figure out a way to do that a little better. And I'll just do that little trick that I always do with Strats for high gain. So yeah, when you're playing a Strat, it's got that ice pick sound to it. Just dial back the tone, like 5 or 6, and usually it's perfectly fine. But I did say I would grab a Les Paul, so just for Kevin's sake, I will grab the Les Paul Deluxe. And now that I have my guitars actually mounted on the wall going up the stairwell, it's a little bit of a hike to grab that one. So I'll be right back. But Kevin, which natural one were you talking about? The natural ash or the flame maple? Or quilted maple? Quilted maple. So you were talking about the natural ash. Absolutely. Ooh. We're way out of tune on you. Let's see here. That's when you became, oh, the evil twin? What is that? Is that the Explorer one, Kevin? Is that one you're saying? Evil twin is the Explorer? That's when you became a fan of Fishman. Does it have the moderns in it, or does it have something different? I had moderns, and they were very nice. Custom 57 reissued darkbacks for $5,000. I believe he's in Canada, just like myself and Kevin. So that $5,000 quickly becomes like $8,000. Okay, so this is the Les Paul Deluxe. So it has the Epiphone style mini humbuckers in it, which like to move around quite a bit. I don't have anything shimmed in there. This is the 30th anniversary edition. Yeah. So it's a 99. I must still have that boost on. I don't know if I would say misunderstood guitar. Just a lot of people want either full-size humbuckers or they want P90s. But this has that beautiful medium C neck on it, so it's a little thicker than the slim taper. And it's just a fantastic guitar. Dial back a little bit of the tone control. Fantastic. Let's get back to channel 2. See here, if PV goes out of business, what do you think will happen with the 6505 series? I don't know. I'm sure if PV goes out of business, someone will just buy them and then continue on with that. Be funny if Fender bought them and just absolved it into the 5150 series. How do mini humbuckers sound with a chorus now? I haven't ever tried that. However, I can't necessarily do a full chorus, but I still have 3 Univibe pedals, so I can kind of grab one of those and swap that in just to hear it. I'm kind of curious myself. Personally, I know I'm gonna really like this. So that's kind of how it sounds. I mean, that's a uni vibe, but that's kind of how it sounds. I might keep that on for a little bit because I really like that. Let's see here. So Wolfgang can buy the ownership rights to the 6505. To be honest, I think he would only do that just to, I guess, stop stuff from his dad's legacy. 5150. For some reason, I've always found that chorus pedals and myself don't get along, but if you throw a little bit of a vibe on top of it, I will get along with it all day. Anyway, I think Kevin wanted me to show the headstock. I don't know that you're going to be able to see it. Maybe if I get a little light on it. Nah, you probably won't be able to see it. Kevin, it was on the neck pickup for a little bit. Yeah, it's basically, it's, you know, that cracking that you get over the years around the logo itself, like the inlaid logo. This is just, it's beautiful. It's got cracking all up and down it, and some of the finishes come off on the top. I don't know what it is about that, like an aged Les Paul or an aged Strat. To me, it just sounds, or looks beautiful. It's been a long time since I didn't see the Jackson RRXT 24.7 on your channel. That would be because I actually got rid of it last year. I got rid of all my 7 strings. Wasn't the same thing as with the 8 string where it was a different instrument than I thought it was. It's just, I enjoy down tuning a 6 string more than I do just picking up a 7 string. And don't enjoy having gear just sit. It really bugs me after a while. And I mean, it's, I think 46, or Kevin might know more than me. It's either 46 or 47 guitars that I own. So to have just a guitar sit in another room, not doing anything, will just eat me alive. I'm going to turn that off. And you know what? Because someone was asking for it earlier, I will grab... well, there you go. You decided to buy your own because of the review. It was a great guitar. It was... when I was selling it, there was like 4 or 5 people that really wanted to buy it, and what would end up happening is, it was sad because it was like coming into a guitar store. If I let people actually come here, I would take them into the other room, like where I have my cabinets set up and my mic, and like there was guitars hanging all around. And whenever I would show like someone, if they said, well, I want to come and buy this V, but I want to try it out, they would see that and they would instantly grab it. And it's an excellent feeling in playing guitar. I don't know, like, honestly, I think if I were to buy that again, I mean, I would definitely swap out the pickups, because I find that they're, how would you put it? They're a little shrill to me. I mean, doesn't mean that they don't record well or sound good, but just when I'm dialing in, I find with that one I have to dial out a lot more of the high end. And at that point, the balance that I have is a little too much. So I'd probably go with Fishman Fluence Moderns, or I would go again with the Nazgul and the Sentient. But I don't know necessarily that I would swap the bridge out. And I definitely wouldn't go with Spurzels again with it. I'd probably be looking at Gotos or something along that line. Or Grovers. Yeah, actually, locking Grovers. With that type of a 7-string, you probably want locking. So anyway, I'll grab that P90 Les Paul. And I'll probably go back to metal. Let's do this here after the P90. Start a poll. We'll do that. So I'll grab that P90. Those 3 guitars are what brought me to the channel. Which ones? Oh, the traditional. I love that traditional. I stopped playing it for a while. Not like purposefully, like I wasn't angry at it or anything like that. But that traditional is just fantastic. I think it was just because I didn't have... It was the only one, or one of the very few that I had with the fat neck. And I was just going from slim taper to medium C a lot, and it just threw me off a tiny bit. But thanks to the Les Paul Standard 50s, that one and the traditional get a heck of a lot more play than most other guitars that I own, and the custom. What other one? Oh, that 2019 Les Paul, or the SG Tribute. Okay. So you have a Kramer with Seymour Duncan pickups and love it. Yeah, they're pretty good. The 50s faded. I don't get along really well with the, I shouldn't say that. The faded finish, like the satin finishes, and me, I really prefer a gloss finish. I know Kevin's the opposite, especially on the neck. But like I was thinking of, you know what, maybe next year, like maybe April or something like that, I would pick up the Kirk Hammett Greenie. But the moment I saw that was a faded for like $4,300, like it's not a gloss finish for $4,300 Canadian. It's probably like, you know, $2,000 or $3,000 US. But yeah, it really bothers me that it's not a high gloss finish. But the funny thing is, when I play the fadeds that I own, or the tributes or whatever you call it, like I like them. I just really prefer the gloss finish. But if I did buy another something with a faded finish, it would be the Les Paul Standard 50s or the Greenie if I really had to. EMGs or Fishman for like the 6 and 7 string Vs and stuff like that. They have their place. I just fell out of love with EMGs. Or basically anything that's active. I don't know why. Not for me anymore. Who knows though? I might change my mind. 58 gold, top dark back, number 1, but it changes every time. That's the one that you want, eh? Yeah, that's kind of how I work, too. And Kevin can attest to that, absolutely. Oh, I missed this here. What's your dream guitar? And Kevin can attest to that. I have, like, set in my mind, you know what? In 4 months, I'm going to buy this. Guaranteed. And then, like, the way that it worked last summer, I think I said that all summer. I was like, oh, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this. It's always a new computer. And then, like, the next week, it was like, yeah, I found another Strat. Or, like, I found another Les Paul. Or I was buying, like, 1 guitar every 2 weeks, if not 2 every 2 weeks last summer. Okay. ESP MX. Yeah, he wants the Hetfield ESP Explorer. I don't know what my dream guitar would be. Too hard to narrow it down. And I would always creep in that Jackson Roswell Rhodes for no reason. I probably would never play it, but I would love to have that. Okay, I'm going to actually play this thing and then I'll swap back to metal. Because I am seeing... Oh no, it's 50-50. You need to convince your wife to buy a new guitar? I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to do it here. Is she buying the guitar or you? I find it's easier if you just buy the guitar and bring it home and do the whole like, I thought you would like it. Love you. That's, yeah. Well, let's see here. How many guitars do you have currently? If you're on, if you are, let's see, the title has dual rectifier, should be 300 viewing. Honestly, man, I have no like set schedule or anything like that, and we're just trying these out. So it also says test in the thing, so. And also at this point in time, I'm playing like clean and breakup stuff. But yeah, back to that. How many guitars do you have if you're trying to convince your wife to hopefully let you buy a new guitar? If you're under like 12, it's a lot easier. I had a lot of success with buying vibrant colored guitars. Like I'm pretty good. You get just one. So okay, you might be looking at some like, yeah, you might, if you've got just one and you want to buy a second one, you might be at that phase where your wife's gonna be like, why, you already have one. And it's kind of hard to go like, well, you know, different tuning, different pickups and stuff like that. But yeah, I would start looking at some like pretty colored ones and see what happens there. I had a lot of success with like if I bought, like when I was buying Paul Reed Smiths, I could bring those home because my wife thought they were very pretty. And I'm pretty good with hammers and a screwdriver. Mm-hmm. Three electric guitars and one acoustic. That's not bad. Doesn't mean you're poor or whatever. Probably just have better priorities than I do. But yeah, I had a lot of success with buying SGs because they looked really nice and my wife thought they were very pretty. And I would always get the like, you didn't need another one, but it looks really pretty, and then we're good. So my wife is just fantastic. Let's throw that vibe pedal back on. Amen to that. I absolutely do. She is fantastic. You know what? That Channel 2 sound that I had on the Deluxe was probably one of my most favorite sounds that I had. So let's try this with the vibe. So, what are we at right now? Over 2 hours here. Yeah. For buying a guitar, then a iPhone. Yeah. I do have to say my iPhone's been horrible. I'm going to open things up to just a Q&A. I'll still hold a guitar. in my hand. And the reason I want to do a Q&A, because I don't know, I know it's an option, and I don't know what it is. Well, yeah, I don't know what this is, so whatever. Yeah. Actually, I think I know what that is now. There we go. Because I'm kind of curious. Well, that's weird. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. How many guitars does everybody have? Okay, I don't know what that does there. Yeah. And that pole. Yeah, so might go for a couple more minutes here, but if anyone has any questions or suggestions, I guess, for future live streams, I can tell you I did get a request. Wow. I got a request to do how to mic a cabinet. How to mic a cabinet with an SM57, which I don't use an SM57, but I have one. So I'm probably going to squeeze that in next weekend. And like I have a 25-foot USB cable. As long as that, and as long as that will reach into the cabinet room, I will stick my webcam there, and we will go over how to mic with a SM57. And as well, a lot of people really showed interest in the Marshall JVM 410H, so I'll probably do that one as well. And I also have to realize that my camera's up here and my computer is here, and I probably should be talking to you there rather than the computer. You have a horrible one and a good one. I'm planning to add another one for drop tuning. Drop tuning or just tuning into a different... Ryan can't think right now. Tuning into like a different... like tuning it down a full step or something like that. Honestly, when I started playing guitar, I borrowed my cousin's guitar for 3 months, and that guitar was horrible. And then the second guitar that I got was absolutely even worse. But I did it just like I played both of those as much as I could, and I learned as much as I possibly could on those. So when I actually got my first real guitar, which Kevin ended up owning down the line after I sold it, that was an Ibanez Pro Series or PR 1660 Flying V. It was a Rhodes style Flying V. So once I actually got that, I actually looked like I knew what I was doing and I could play properly. So doesn't really matter if you have a horrible one, just whether you can actually use it or not. Let's see. Any guitar you regret selling? I don't regret actually selling. I know Kevin wants me to say like, oh, Ibanez, my first real guitar. But I know we were both chasing one down for the longest time, but I've thrown in the hat. I don't want it. It's just not going to feel as nice as the guitars that I own and play all the time now. Let's see, which ones I regret selling. Yeah, the price of that is way too high. Anything I regret selling? I know there's one or two. I wish that I wouldn't have sold. I don't do the IR stuff. I need to feel when I'm playing, so I have everything in another room, and it's loud enough that I can feel it when I'm playing. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't get enough energy from IRs and simulators and stuff like that. But I wish maybe some of the earlier Gibson guitars that I owned, like the White Explorer that I had, even though I put EMGs in that, I wish I would have kept that with the actual pickups in it. The Gibson SG Standard that I had back then, I wish I would have kept that. And maybe the White Flying V that I had too. Let's see. I have an old school Mesa 2-channel triple rectifier Rev G. I'm wondering if it is the best recto ever for metal. If you like it and you think it is, then it is. I don't know. I've played a couple of triple rectifiers. I'm not one of those guys who's like, I don't own one, so it's horrible. But I don't know. I really don't know. I really like the 3-channel 100-watt that I have. I played the multi-watt. It was great, but I preferred the one that I own. And even the Road King that I have, that it's the Road King 1, which is patterned after the 3-channel 100-watt. And I love that, being able to add the different tubes in there to it. But I really like the dual rectifier that I have. However, I wouldn't turn down a 2-channel triple rectifier if it was at a decent price. I know I'd be hoping to grab it. What do I think of Blackstar amps? The Blackstar amp, all I can hear is the whirring of the pedal. Blackstar amps. I own 2 Blackstars. I have the HT Studio 20, the Mark I version, which I owned, hated, thought it was horrible, and sold it to Kevin, the other guy on the channel. And then just recently I thought, I have to have it back because I had to give it another chance. I don't think it does really well for high gain, but if you are looking for anything other than that, it's great. I think it's awesome. And I also have a, what is it called? The HT Stage 100 Mark II. And that is an excellent recording tool. You can get some great recorded tones out of it for high gain and metal. But realistically playing it, it just comes across like it's a solid state amp. Like when you start turning it up, like you can turn it up to a certain level and then it doesn't really do much after that. But as a recording tool, it's fantastic. That's the closest thing, to me, that's the closest thing to a modeler. We got a couple of Alabamans. I don't know, would there be interest in me doing the Blackstar amps on a live stream? I think it might be beneficial thing, because there's a lot of, I know for like this channel here, a lot of people just, they kind of know us for like the metal stuff, and I just find that the Black Star stuff is really made well all round, without really big specialties on like a big focused area. So I don't know if there might be interested in that. But we'll go a couple more minutes. If anyone else has any other questions, I'll actually shut off the dual rectifier. Yeah, if anyone has any more questions, you know, just pop them my way. And like I said, we'll be doing Kevin's. Hey, Kevin, when are you headed out? Is it the 27th? You're gone for like a month or something like that? You also got EVH 5153. Thought it was going to be a really tight amp. But yours doesn't seem to be. Am I using, and you're using a boost. Okay, so what version of the 5153 do you have? Do you have the 50 watt, the 100 watt, the Stealth? What do you have there? Because there's on the 50 watt, the resonance controls in the back. Taking that down a notch will definitely help you out. The 100 watt, the regular 100 watt, doesn't have a resonance control, so that will hinder you a little. You have the 50 watt 6L6. So that's the one that I have that actually Kevin owns. I think you can see it right there on the floor. That one there has that resonance control in the back. Just dial that back a little, but you also have to make sure that you're getting some healthy volume going on for that. But it is an amp that there's a ton of gain to it. A lot of people will say, a lot of music store people, I guess you would say, well, it's what is it? One trick pony kind of thing. I don't think it is, but a lot of people do say it's a one trick pony. It's like it's a high gain amp and that's it. It's got that crazy gain to it. But yeah, I mean it's definitely, that's one of those amps where you got to watch your low end, and as well you need that volume going on it. Okay. So, I would say that's about it for this stream. Thanks for everyone for showing up. Again, this is just like a test. Hold on here. I have guitars with active and passive, but not all that impressed. Ooh, Kevin's saying totals. Deployment for 6 months in December. Yeah, Kevin's, he's going away next week. I don't think he's going to be doing any more streams with us for a while, which was nice because we did have that little snafu at the start of the original stream. Yeah, but yeah, that's gonna be about it there, guys. Thanks for showing up for this stream. I'm gonna try next weekend. I don't know how my work is gonna be looking, but if it's only one stream next weekend, it'll end up being the miking a cabinet. But otherwise, if I'm able to do 2 streams, I'll probably do the 410H and miking the cabinet with the SM57. Yeah, more to come, I guess you would say. And thank you for coming out, and I will see you guys in the next one.